All right, Kev, you ready to turn over the world?
Man, what's going on, y'all? It's the People's Network. The People's Network presents the Warrior Report on a Wednesday night. It is August. Summer's over. It's time to get right. You know, cuffing season is coming. I kind of feel like we survived a hot girl summer, but cuffing season is still coming. So welcome to the show. This is the opening salvo for what we like to do weekly, you know, here on the People's Network. We do the Warrior Report on Wednesday nights from 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time to whenever I cut the machine off, and then we do Outlaw Radio Thursdays and Saturdays. Please watch the show. We have a YouTube page. Go to the YouTube page and subscribe. Support the 414. Shout out to 3041 North, 414-810-3131. Most definitely, shout out to brother Talk to Teach and Listen to Learn. We had an incredible show last Saturday. But the funny part was I did something I've never done, which is I had food. It's the number one rule. Traditionally, if you understand radio or any kind of media or anything that involves a live microphone, you don't have to eat gum. You don't eat, you slurp off the air. But I had the crab boil from Chef Monique Brown. Her name is Chef Monique Brown. You can inbox her on Facebook. The food was delicious. If you couldn't tell, I put up the pictures. People responded to the pictures. Black business is what it's all about, right? So shout out to Brother Dante Chestnut, the DAMG Entertainment Group. KT Killingham's album is out right now. And the crazy thing is the Plug magazine, shout out to them. Brother Jason and myself are in this latest issue. You know, we don't get we ain't on the cover or nothing, but we was just at the summit, at the New Music Summit in Green Bay with Brother Dante. So shout out to him, Octavia Emanuel Wright with Black Nurses Rock, my sister, most definitely. And shout out to this brother right here, Kamar Carter, right?
Peace.
Brother Bull.
Nature's in the Turf, herbs and supplements.
That's
Come and get yours. Come and get yours. We got this good detox right here. We're going to clean your blood, push the mucus out your body.
Right, because apparently that's what's affecting us. It is the People's Network presents the Warrior Report. I know sometimes people get confused because it seems like the Warrior Report melts into Outlaw Radio. Outlaw Radio is a little bit more edgy. Outlaw Radio is a little bit more of a challenge to even create. You know, the Warrior Report is great because it's very easy. Like tonight, it's the Warrior Report, inside information.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think that sums up what we do here on the show when I talk about inside information. What does that mean? What's the concept? What you talking about, Kev?
Yeah.
Hit like, hit share, hit follow, share the live. We are live. Help us get these numbers un-Ethiopian. Right now, my numbers are starving. Go and subscribe to the YouTube page. Hit like, hit share, share the live, do a watch party, all the things that y'all do in support of the show is greatly appreciated. But yeah, man, it's the Warrior Report, inside information. Why did we decide to call it that? Why is that where I'm coming from? Well, on the Warrior Report, the conversation should lean more towards the inside of the machine, as opposed to the outside of the machine, right? So yeah, you can put on new clothes, you can have a fancy car, you can have a big house, you can have a wallet or a purse full of credit cards, but if your inside's fucked up, you get no enjoyment out of it.
Yeah. You can have that nice, pretty paint on that car, the
right.
nice rims.
Big
you
rims.
know what I'm saying? Your seats done up all nice with your name stitched in them, you know. But
you got a custom belt buckle.
But then you pop that hood and then there ain't no motor.
Right.
The motor.
Or if you pop the hood on your personal life and it's all dysfunction.
There you go.
And mistrust and hate and angst and stress and strife and all kinds of static. That kind of drives the machine down the wrong road. So on the Warrior Report, I bring this brother in I call him our herbologist, right? He's the resident medicine man. Brother Kamar Carter, man, Brother Bull.
Ooh,
and you had a little
that sounds spooky. That sounds spooky.
Hey,
medicine man.
Well, let's scare him then. Maybe they'll start listening to the damn show. Let's scare the shit out of them. Let's do it. Right. Boom. Right. So yeah, man, Wednesday night we kicking this off tomorrow. I promise you, an explosive episode of Outlaw Radio. Shout out to my brother Atef, who actually done our docu-series, who did the black and white. Some of y'all ain't seen it, some of you have. It's a beautiful piece of work. and it represents Milwaukee very well. I think the 414 is beautifully represented in the Black and White docuseries. We got episode 2 coming. It's not going to be called Black and White, but it's going to be called Outlaw TV, the series, right? So we have episode 2 coming. So shout out to Hatef. Big things, man. Big dreams, big plans, but plans to have big execution is what we should be looking at. Because we can talk about it all night, but if we don't do shit about it, won't nothing happen. It's just like what you talk about with your herbs. So talk about all the different varieties that you have with your herbs.
All right, with the detox here, we got in the detox, I got some blue vervain in there. The blue vervain gonna give you some blood work. It's gonna work on your liver. Any herb, I'm gonna tell you something. Blue vervain is slightly bitter, but that's good. You know what I'm saying? Because see, when you get bitter herbs, you know it's good for your liver. Anything bitter is good for your liver.
Okay.
That's even with food. You know what I mean? You think about the bitters. With the bitter, I can't think of nothing right offhand right quick, but you know that's good for your liver. So the blue vervain is gonna help that. It's gonna help your blood. It's gonna clear out your respiratory system. It's gonna expel mucus out your body. Blue vervain is one of Dr. Sebi's favorite herbs, as a matter of fact. It's gonna do a lot. We also have burdock root in there. The burdock root is a blood purifier. It's antiviral, antibacterial. It's anti-inflammatory. It's anti-cancer. It helps with gout. It's good for arthritis. But you know, and it's good for so many different things because it's a blood purifier. Anytime you want to help yourself heat up physically, you're gonna need clean blood. So you know what I'm saying? You want to make sure you get that blue vervain in there. Then we also have the dandelion leaf. The dandelion leaf and dandelion root also. The dandelion root is good for your pancreas. It's good for your liver. It's also good for your blood. Then you have the dandelion leaf. The dandelion leaf cleanses out your respiratory area. It's also good for gout. It aids in weight loss. So my detox can also help you lose weight too, because it flushes the toxins out.
How many times I got to take it before, like, because if I buy that jar and I drink that whole jar in 2 days, I'm straight?
Well, no, you ain't gonna drink it in 2 days. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot. That's a lot. You know what I mean? You're working with a lot.
Right. Okay.
But like I would say, you make tea. You make about 3 cups a day, at least 3 cups a day of tea, and you drink it for a while. Now, the way herbs work, the way food works, because herbs is basically just food. Now, you know you can't just go eat an apple and something's going to be healed. You're going to heal. You know what I mean? It's not like a pill. Like, it's not even a pill that you can take and you just be healed right away. So what it is, you have to do it daily. You know what I mean? You have to intake these herbs daily over a period of time. Like I would say, after 30 days of you drinking a certain herb or taking it, however you taking it, you'll start seeing a difference. You'll start seeing benefits.
Okay.
The food becomes you. So after the dandelion, we also have, I'm going to get off the whole damn detox and start talking about what it do.
I mean, you're doing your thing. Do your thing.
We also have the sarsaparilla in there. Sarsaparilla is a blood purifier. It cleanses out your respiratory area, your reproductive area. It's good for your fellas. It's good for your prostate. It's high in iron. So that's also good. That's another thing, you know. Like I say, your blood is very important. You know what I mean? And we all basically iron deficient. Sarsaparilla and burdock root has the highest iron content of any plant on the planet. You know what I'm saying? So that also means that this detox is good for people with sickle cell anemia. You know what I'm saying? Because they need
black man's disease.
Exactly.
The black man's.
And, you know, I'm gonna tell you something, man. Sickle cell in the beginning, it wasn't a disease.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Sickle cell was actually something that our bodies did to defend from malaria.
Well, I was just about to say, I thought it was made and concocted as to combat malaria.
Our bodies made it.
Okay,
that's how intricate our bodies are. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Our bodies alter and do different things.
And you know what?
Fight with that.
The fact that you even said that, the fact that you even brought up sickle cell, I have to stop and say, rest in peace to my cousin Sammy Guyton, who passed away. Y'all know him. People, you know, a real Northside original.
Peace.
Somebody who I was very close to. My cousin, much love. Condolences to the family, first of all, my whole family. And it was just like crazy. Like, bam, hit me out of nowhere. So Rest in peace to Sammy Guy, but my cousin always dealt with sickle cell. So I know now how it destroys the body. I know it. And he had a life, he had a long life. He left his mark. I'm just saying that's something that should have been eradicated a long time ago. First of all, when we talk about diseases and sicknesses that afflict people of color, it seems like the research is very slow on it. If we talk about hypertension, diabetes, and people say, well, it's millions of dollars in research and treatment for those diseases. But I don't see it going at the same clip as something like cancer, which is also, condolences to anybody who's lost someone over cancer. But when it comes to those sicknesses that kill us, I don't see the proactiveness, right? Because diabetes is something that should have been cured a long time ago, realistically.
Right.
Sickle cell is something that should have been fixed a long time ago.
Definitely, man. And really, let me see, how can I say this? Like, okay, I don't want to say cure, right?
Right.
But the fix is already here. You know what I mean?
Right. They already know how to fix
it. But the thing is, you know what I'm saying, getting this information out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because
inside
every disease,
information.
I'm gonna tell you, to me, yeah. And
I snuck that in.
right.
I snuck that in.
But to me, like the real inside information is this. Just damn near every disease is an allergic reaction.
Okay.
That's it. You know what I mean? Like diabetes. We get diabetes because we're eating stuff that our bodies can't do nothing with, that our bodies can't handle. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So so what happens is we go through different changes because of that.
Right.
It's the same thing.
Biologically.
You know what I mean? Same thing. Even being fat is a
right. Look at me. Everybody look right at me on the show like, Kev. Right? Man, fuck y'all.
He's having an allergic reaction right now.
Especially since we just destroyed a seafood boil last.
Right, man. Hey, look, man, that looked great.
It was delicious.
I mean, and
y'all better get with Chef Monique, bro.
If it's one thing, one meat that I really wish it would have been seafood. And I would still be eating. You know what I'm saying? That I wish I would.
Oh, and even the veggies in that pan was good, so you'd have been straight if you was here, man.
Yeah, but
the corn was delicious.
The juice, the juice ain't nothing but blood. So you know what I mean?
Man, it was delicious. I don't give a fuck if it was,
I wouldn't have been able to do it with
I don't even care if it was like cat piss and coconut shavings and the shit. It was the by far the best thing I've tasted in a long time. And I like seafood, so I was like seeing these boils, and I'm like, man, I want to, but I've been thinking about, I'm going to try to make one.
Mm-hmm.
So they, shout out to Chef Monique Brown. She delivered it. Like, just eat it on the show is all I asked. It's a $40, $50 pan.
Yeah.
Man, shout out to Brother Talk to Teach.
Look,
I still got one of my, I was wiping my mouth. So like I
invite all vegan chefs and cooks to do the same. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
If you would like your catering service on here,
you know
what I'm saying, let us know.
Sir Mix-a-Lot say put them on the glass.
Yeah, we so put it out there. Especially that good vegan food. Now, if you cook vegan food, I know a lot of vegans here.
Provide me with some vegan food that's good. I will give you your props. Like you say, no, you don't understand. Motherfuckers here, you want some vegetarian lasagna? No, thank you. Why would I eat vegetarian? Right. I eat it for the meat and the cheese. Cauliflower and fucking graham crackers. I'm fucking with y'all. It's the Warrior Report, man. It's all about, and what I'm talking about is actually the cause of a lot of our issues with, the whole food thing. Like food, and this is what I'm saying. We just did a show, and you couldn't, a lot of people missed the point of the show last Saturday night. Mm-hmm. Yes, it was about the seafood boil, but the name of the show was Conspiracy Theories.
Right.
I don't know if a lot of people
watching too. I was at the crib watching too, and I'm like, but for some reason, I was stuck on this seafood that was sitting here on the table. You know what I'm saying? And you and Jason steady grabbing.
Right.
And you know what I mean? Jason fighting his crab leg off. He's fighting shit out that crab leg. It was
shells and shit all over the studio, man. It was crazy. It was crazy. But the name of the show is Conspiracy Theories, in which we discussed, because we were fresh off the Epstein thing. Mm-hmm. And it was one of those situations where I wholeheartedly believe there's a deeply rooted conspiracy behind a rich man who partied with a lot of rich men over a 20, 30-year period. And then he goes to jail and on suicide watch, off suicide watch, dead.
Yeah,
I thought it was just like, come back.
How do you kill yourself? You know, suicide watch.
Well, they said he had gotten off.
I'd have been to prison.
They said that he had gotten off, like he passed the protocol.
Like
once again, it's a deep dark hole. But when I was talking about conspiracy theories, I was talking about the fact that, you know, there's wild conspiracy theories, and Black people are really conspiracy bound.
Oh yeah,
because we know that at one point in this country they had to have gotten together to collectively conspire against us. The way that they oppress us, you know that had to happen, right? And we were saying, like, you really can't trust the source of any information you have in regards to even with our food, even with our the way we have to maintain our. I think Black people have a unique biology, and I think scientifically that's been demonstrated a million different times. We have a different makeup than other humans on this planet.
Right? Yeah, we do.
So the main thing with me was, if I caught you in this many lies, you probably lying about everything you ever told me, right? So we did conspiracy theories and we talked about it. And, you know, some shit like I don't believe Nipsey Hussle's murder was a conspiracy. Do I believe Martin Luther King's murder was a conspiracy? Yes, I do.
Yeah.
You know, and I go and come like that with the conspiracy thing. So, but with the food, we know they totally lied to us about everything else. Why
it's a lot of food conspiracy
because of who? Right, dairy,
also the dairy,
butter, eggs, cheese, bread.
The eggs, they tell you about protein. You know what I mean?
Don't eat too much.
You need to eat protein so you get your eggs.
Red meat. Don't eat it.
But what about all the fucking cholesterol that's in these eggs?
Well, how you cook them? Is it cholesterol in the boiled
egg? It is. And then you add more cholesterol when you cooking them in butter, and you know what I mean. You doing the scrambled eggs and putting the cheese on it, and you know what I'm saying. It's just making it that much more work.
Right.
But yeah, you know what I mean. All this stuff is a conspiracy. You know, the dairy, like you were saying, milk. It's a conspiracy thinking we got to drink milk for getting a strong.
Well, is that an ad campaign or a conspiracy? I mean, I like
both.
Okay.
I would say both.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Because if I sell milk, I'm like, nah, we got to push this shit. So it's not like, okay, let's kill Black people with milk and Frosted Flakes.
Right.
Like, not. That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't think somebody had a meaning. I may be underestimating, but I wouldn't think somebody said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to get their little kids milk, and they're going to eat them on these cereal.
Yeah.
It's like, nah, it's the economy,
I don't think it was just for us. I think maybe they just trying to find something else to sell, maybe.
Okay, right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. Is it a conspiracy or an ad campaign? Like, you have to see, Black people have to be very conscious of all the information that we receive right now. Number one, because 2020 is an election year.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get fed a bunch of bullshit right now. You're going to get rhetoric. You're going to get hype. You're going to get all kinds of different messages. And the Democrats are going to say, hey, look what we done for you Black people. And the Republicans are going to say, nah, this is what we done. And we'll give y'all more if y'all lead them.
Right.
And Black people in the middle like, I don't know what to do. I don't know who to choose. Right? Then you go YouTube, you go Facebook, you go on whatever it is that you're on. And there's a lot of pontificators.
Right.
There's a lot of individuals such as myself who talk to no end about the problems. And rarely is there a solution from the talk. It's just another reason for y'all to listen next week.
Mm-hmm.
So with the food and the herbal things, and you've given Black people props for that.
Mm-hmm.
Jason has given Black, like, look, at a high rate right now, that's what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of Black people are like, no, I want the truth.
Yeah, and it's coming out. It's coming out. You're starting to see more and more Black people that want truth. I mean, whether you're talking about religion, whether you're talking about politics, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You're talking about health. More and more people want the truth. More and more people are becoming health conscious. And personally,
they trying to.
I'm gonna tell
I saw
you,
your ass at Burger King.
You know what I mean?
Somebody's for my kids.
Right, yeah. I'm just going to get that Impossible Whopper. that new Impossible Whopper.
I want to talk about that too. Go ahead, because I want to talk about that a little bit.
Well, yeah, you know, we can. You know what I'm saying? I tried it, actually.
Okay.
I tried it. Was it last week? Last week I tried it. Whatever. I mean,
how did it taste?
Man, it's all right.
It wasn't no Monique Brown crab roll.
You know what I'm saying? But it ain't nothing. I'm finna be at the house. But you know what? I'm finna go to Burger King. Go get me one of them Whoppers.
Right.
No, hell.
Well, here's the deal. We talk about substitution of meat. We talk about people who are technically we've all been conditioned from birth to eat meat, unless your parents were vegans, and mine weren't. So maybe if you say that ain't true, okay, you wasn't. But everybody in my neighborhood, you know, even if you took a bag lunch to school, it had a sandwich, with some bologna, which is spare parts.
Yeah, right.
I mean, shit, for fun, we ate hot dogs, which is spare parts.
Right.
And Jello, which they gave us in school, which is spare parts, hooves, eyeballs, ear, cartilage, with some fruit flavoring that you don't know how the fuck they made it.
Right.
It's all been one big lie. Die. That they didn't even consider might be carcinogenic. So when I talk about the meat, this Impossible Burger, which I haven't tasted yet, which is from the Beyond Meat thing, understand the way that they substitute this meat is with soy.
Yep, a lot of burgers. You got to watch them. You know
a lot of veggie this, a lot of veggie that is soy in there, and that has been known in itself to be harmful.
Yeah, soy is terrible. I mean, man, it fuck up your sperm.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It fuck your sex life up.
So they
know what I'm saying? And it's also soy is also a anti-nutrient, so it pulls nutrients.
They found in this Impossible Burger, this Beyond Meat. And I just want to tell people, stop.
But that's what I want. I question though, like, cause see, I've heard about the Impossible and I heard the Beyond
Meat.
And my question, like, I don't know this yet. I don't know, but like, are they the same? I looked it up, and remember when Jason asked me to look it up, or whatever.
Right.
Beyond Burger, it was
Meat.
different. Yeah, it was separate.
But it's the Impossible Burger is made with Beyond Meat.
I don't know.
No, it is.
Oh, it is.
Yes, because this is the news. It's been found to have glyphosate, right?
Yeah.
Which is carcinogenic, which, by the way, is the main ingredient in herbicides created by Monsanto. Right? So when they say go vegan, eat this Impossible Burger, you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
Beyond Meat. Well, what are you substituting it for? It's just like I tell people who smoke cigarettes. Okay, I'm getting off cigarettes, so I'm going to vape. You don't know what the fuck chemicals is in there.
That's most shit. Just like this disease, lung disease coming out.
People are getting sick off of it right now.
Yeah.
Running behind some shit, you don't have no inside information.
Let me touch on that Beyond thing, though.
Okay, go ahead.
You know, like, okay, we talk about vegan. You know what I'm saying? Now, it's a couple different kinds of vegans. Like, you got vegans who only eat raw fruit and vegetables.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
There's variation, yes.
Now, to me, I would say that would be the true definition of vegan.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's vegan, vegetables. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, when we go get these burgers, these different sausages and Beyond Meat burgers, all these different veggie burgers and all that, that's still processed food.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, it's still processed food.
Yes.
So we still have to watch our intake of that because that's not good for us. You got vegans who eat a lot of starch. We call them starchitarians. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all some stuck up motherfuckers.
You know what I mean? They don't eat meat, but then they eat a lot of starch.
Y'all like Christian Bloods, man.
A lot of vegan mac and cheese,
right?
And you know what I'm saying?
Pasta.
Different pastas.
People don't know starches turn into sugars.
Exactly.
And sugar is bad for us as well. So if you say I don't eat a lot of candy, but do you eat a lot of spaghetti?
Exactly. Now see, and you know, sugar feeds all disease. I don't care what disease you got, sugar feeds.
It burns hot.
So if you eating these starches, you eating all these pastas, you might as well be eating sugar.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because you're still feeding the disease.
Talking about I'm healthy. Look what I had for lunch.
Pasta is a processed food also. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you got to be careful about that type of stuff.
Yes. The Warrior Report, inside information, even into my, like, I'm diving into topics that are related to what we do here on the Warrior Report. So I'm looking into food, like, because I'm the worst offender in the world. If you can't tell by looking at me, shit, I'll eat a piece of meat, a hamburger. I don't get no vegan Whopper. If I go to Burger King, I'm getting a Whopper.
Hey, but you know what though? I'm gonna tell you, like, okay, yeah, you got people like that,
right?
But this is the thing, you starting to know better.
You know
what I mean? So that's a step up right there.
But what I'm starting to know is
that's a step up from where you was a couple months ago.
If I order the substitute, it has soy and carcinogen shit in it and carcinogenic ingredients, and it's like, okay, I can either just eat what I know and try to moderate it or deal with some. Like, now I'm eating some. Oh, this is organically made. Who in the hell told you that their definition of organic is the same as yours?
Exactly. Because
you don't really know what that means.
It's a lot of work. I don't even know the standards for organic. You know what I'm saying?
Right, what is it?
Because you got seedless organic watermelons. It's not organic if it's seedless.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, no doubt.
I don't get it. You know what I mean? They got organic shit on canned foods.
That's what if they put organic on it now, they think people will buy it. And this is what I'm saying. This is another way that they come at black people, because who really has the most lowly rated healthcare, even access to quality healthcare? The black community. We are by far the sickest group of people, mainly because we live in poverty and we don't have enough money to get the necessary treatments that we need a lot. There's a lot of generational poverty that affects this as well. So what I'm saying is that every piece of information that we as people of color have ever been given in this country about anything has been a lie. The United States government has, and don't get me wrong, they've lied to everybody. Right. But to black people, to the point where you gave black men syphilis and told them that they had bad blood.
Right.
And you did this shit on the campus of a HBCU. Right?
Smack in the face.
Now, if you was going there and you was in the drum line and shit, and you dancing with your trumpet, you didn't have inside information. Because if you did, you'd have known that your school has participated in a 70-year campaign in which they intentionally gave black people syphilis and watched them have babies with syphilis to say, let's see how.
And we were so entrusting in what they tell us. You know what I mean?
Thank you for the school, sir.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Really appreciate it. Boss treat us good.
Ooh,
he feed us once a day and everything.
We got us some books. That's how we got us some books.
Yeah,
we got a library.
Right. And even today, you know what I mean? You see niggas being pacified like that still.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I just want black people to say, see, my main thing is like seeking out the knowledge, looking for resources, and you have to research your researcher every time you receive any information. Very big heated debate last week after the show, Brother Talk and my brother Westside Zeladon, just really going at each other, which happens, and you got to understand the show after the show that we do. It's like we
gotta film that sometime.
Sometimes,
one of these days we gonna film that.
One day, maybe we'll get to just like sneak a camera in there and put it on Instagram or something. But it's crazy because the show sets off a lot of different, in different people, and sometimes their responses, and they agree, they don't agree, they disagree. That's why I say it's interactive. You got something to say, throw it in the chat room.
Yeah, we don't, even us, we don't always agree.
Not at all.
And see, and this is the thing, you know what I mean? That is okay.
Right.
That's what we all got to remember. It's okay to disagree. Just because we disagree don't mean we don't like it.
Unless you take it.
You know what I'm saying?
Unless you take it.
It's a disagreement.
Ain't nobody folded. You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, come on, Sam. Leave that boy alone in my yuck mouth voice. But no, I'm saying, in that debate was who's the source of the information? Is it the AP or the UP? It's like, United Press, Associated Press, which if you don't understand, that's where most of your news sources, and I would say probably about 98% of them, because there's a 2% that maybe are independent that are big enough to say they don't. But that's where they get the majority of their information from. So most of the time when you're reading something in a newspaper or on the internet, Reuters and all these different, they get a stream from the AP or the UP. And they just got people who sit and say, no, put that in, get that to him. Yes. That's what they do. That's how it works. So the debate was like, how do you know what you said you know? Well, I read it. Well, who printed it?
Right.
You were a slave to the AP. This is how the argument went. Like, wait a minute. We all get our shit from the same place. Unless you know a newspaper I don't know of.
Right.
So it's crazy that black people we have an argument about the argument. Instead of saying, look, big picture politics.
Right. Where you get that information? What book you get that from?
Because you think about
that's a white author.
Right. Unilaterally, had we as people in the 30s come together and said, no, we need a black public health board to focus on the things that ail us. if it's diabetes, if it's whatever, if you're talking about a time when Richard Drew and all these brilliant black men lived, and you'd have put them on one, come on, son. Fucking sickle cell would have been cured in the 50s.
Right.
But see, we didn't seek inside information. We pretty much accepted what they were telling us, which now we know via the Freedom of Information Act, no matter how much they redact the article, it does not matter, President Reagan. Okay. It is what it is. Yeah. And it's been all lies. So when I was growing up, milk does a body good. The boy was growing, that's okay, she dissing me now, but I'm drinking milk. Remember them commercials?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Say, oh, shit.
Yeah, I remember that commercial.
Remember pork, the other white meat?
Yeah.
Shit.
Anything to make you eat.
Man, they sold a McRib at McDonald's. Who the fuck knows if that's not ribs?
Man.
Who knows what that's made of?
Hey, I saw something on Facebook. I don't know how true it is, y'all, so don't hold me to it.
Shit.
But I saw something, man, like it was a meme or something, and it was talking about like the McRibs made out of assholes, pig assholes.
Right.
And shit.
I seen that, yeah.
You seen that?
Yeah.
And then, hey, look, they showed a piece of one of them, and it looked like a little asshole.
A little butthole in the middle of it, right?
Was on the McRib.
Shout out to you if you ate McRibs. No wonder your girl's so happy.
Hey, and I used to eat that shit too when I was little.
Everybody did.
God damn.
Man, I grew up eating hog head cheese, which was a ground up hog's head on some crackers.
Yeah.
This is the kind of shit I ate growing up. Like, you know, and that's what my parents introduced me to because that's what they were raised on.
Yeah, that's right.
You know,
that was it.
We had to figure it out, man. You know, we made pig guts no matter how you feel about chitlins. It's a delicacy.
I remember being posted on the block by the corner store. Go in the corner store, go give me $2 worth of head cheese.
Oh my God,
worth
you
of
was
cheese.
good. Please tell me you didn't have on a do-rag.
And a pack of crackers.
Did you have a do-rag?
I cut my hair off.
If you had a do-rag and a Marlboro hanging out your mouth, stand on the corner, eat some hog.
So cliche.
Like, right, what a stereotype. Let me guess, you rap, right?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, right. And that was fucked. That'd have been fucked up too because I rapped during that.
Right. Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
You ain't never rap about that hog.
So cliche. So cliche.
Right. And it's so easy for you to play into the stereotypes that they and the lies and the misrepresentations. It's easy for us to do that. Look, I lived a long time right inside my anger.
Right.
I lived it. That was my fuel every day because I knew I was mad.
Yeah, and you know a lot of us do it.
But what happened was I ended up doing things that played into their stereotypes.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up sagging my pants when my hat broke off to the left. I ended up riding on another black man.
Mad black
like,
man.
You actually want to fight him because he wears his hat in a different direction.
Right.
And I'm sitting there saying, yes.
Yeah.
Let me at him. If we'd have just stopped and said, hey, man, wait a minute. I was finna punch you in your shit. You got your hat. You actually have a baseball cap turned to the right, and I want to fight you about it.
Yeah.
It's the dumbest shit.
Remember charging motherfuckers up about that dumbass shit.
Oh, man, y'all can't be over here. Y'all got to move around.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, this over here is this, man. But you know what? It's easy for me to say that. Hindsight is 2020. There, of course, people who represented them lanes say, but you short playing it because it was so much more involved in it was.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot involved in it. And sometimes it was retaliatory in its nature just because, like...
And it was beyond us. It wound up beyond us.
What was given to us.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Kind of inherent.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. So, yeah, man, I'm talking about when you misunderstand information, then you get caught and you get placed in bad situations. Like most of the time, Black people have issues with the way we eat, with the way we live our lives because we live in like really negative circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
Like you always up against it.
Mm-hmm.
Up against the wall, trying to find a job, trying to get steady, trying to balance a relationship. Yeah. You got kids. Yeah. It's a constant ball of stress.
Trying to get that next meal.
Right. Like, man, I'm going to tell you, we energies put more pressure on people in Milwaukee than the feds, the D-Techs, what gang you in.
They stay on the
We energies is them dudes up here if you live in a house. Right?
Yeah.
So if you one of them outdoorsmen where you say, I don't motherfucking need lights, good. Right. But it get
see how that works.
It get negative 25 up here.
Yeah.
I need that little heater action.
Yeah, see how that works.
Yeah, man. So we energies put pressure on you, man.
Mm-hmm.
And just like, your responsibility. So if we can get to a situation, I was talking about median income and financial literacy amongst people of color, in particular Black people. Just one statistic. I'm not going to go into it because it's not Outlaw Radio. I understand it's the Warrior Report. But think about this with this election coming up. It doesn't matter what they say. Here in the city of Milwaukee, the median income, which means the money that comes through the household for Black people, is about $29,500. This is the total money that comes through the home.
Total.
$29,500 per year. For white people, it's $60,000 or $63,000. It's double, and that's on average for them. It's double. So that just goes to show you we have a very, very serious problem here. Because if you double my income, you can afford to. You can get better medical care. You can get better food.
Yeah.
But you probably eat some hog head cheese too, because white people eat, souse. They call it souse. We call it head cheese in the Black community. But white people eat it too. Germans eat it. A lot of ethnic Europeans eat souse. Like, you know what I'm saying? But that's like a snack for them. For Black people, that's like, no, that's dinner for a long time. Right? Like chitlins and shit. Now, my mama used to make them, on New Year's. Back in the day, she like, no, this was like Wednesday. Because that's what we had. Imagine if you grew up eating chitlins every week. Right? So imagine how screwed up your health
I can't imagine that.
Right. Well,
Black
people have had to deal with a level of poverty in this country nobody understands. If you talk to somebody who survived Jim Crow, which is the 40s, the 50s, the 30s, whatever, in the South, the way they talk about poverty and being hungry and just being downtrodden, like my mom and my dad were from that generation. To hear my mama talk about down South Mississippi, the things that how she grew up, would blow your mind. Because she was just like, it was like the worst conditions that you could imagine. Like she would like talk about like, no, we couldn't afford grease for my hair. So my mother used to actually put lard in my hair for hair grease. So I'm sitting in class smelling like bacon.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So like kids is behind me making fun of me. So I started fighting. And next thing you know, I'm sneaking a razor in school because I'm gonna cut me. So it's like, damn. Like I used to sneak off and kill a rabbit because I'd be so hungry.
Man, that's crazy.
In the woods and butcher it and clean it and cook it over open fire. That's how poor they were. And nobody gave a shit.
Right.
So when you think about that's where we come from. It's generational. You know what I'm saying? Maybe your granddaddy came to Milwaukee and bought a couple houses and worked at A.O. Smith and kind of pulled y'all out of it. But for a lot of us, that's not the case. So, when I talk about inside information, I talk about like knowing who you are, where you come from, and what you're up against. That's inside information. That's not a shallow understanding.
Right.
That's not, oh man, they don't want us to have shit. To me, that's a shallow. What you talking about?
And who you with?
Right. Who you surround yourself?
You know what I'm saying? I think that's powerful too.
Yeah. Shout out to everybody on my Facebook. I see y'all checking us out. Wanda Joseph, beautiful sister, DeAndre Love, my brother Larry Perdue, George Terry Jr., Anthony Stewart, my boy Aaron Brown, Roger Zeladine, everybody in here. Hit like, hit share the live feed. It is the People's Network presents the Warrior Report, inside information on a Wednesday night. It's like August 16th, 15th. I don't even know what day it is. It's the summer's over, put it like that.
Basically.
Right. So, but then my other thing when I look,
I'm gonna be optimistic though.
You think it's gonna stay warm a few more days?
Yeah, I want to be optimistic.
You hope it.
Yeah, I'm trying to hold on.
You're gonna have to have a big ass coat on with your ankh.
Hey, I'm trying to hold on to this weather, man.
Yeah, no doubt. We all are, but yeah, it cometh. Right,
Yeah,
Old Man Winter is undefeated.
He coming.
Right. But then I was looking at, okay, so for us regular people who are eating meat, and right now there's like red meat, like steak and stuff like that, like the cow right now, worldwide, globally, it is a phenomenon. This is the most red meat people have ever eaten. And it's caused a shortage. Actually, the price of leather's down because, people don't really wear leather coats no more.
Right.
So now you all of a sudden you got more.
All these leather.
Because we got to keep killing these cows because the demand for beef is so high. So in a situation where, on one hand, you're getting people saying, don't eat red meat, it's too much protein, it's clogging up your system. Oh my God, go vegan. The beef industry is laughing at y'all.
And you know the problem is that's the wrong protein. We don't need that protein.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? We don't need that animal protein. That animal protein ain't what we need. What we need is amino acids. We need the amino acids that we get from the green leafy plants.
Okay.
Amino
acids.
You take your amino acids and your liver turns it into the protein that your body needs.
That's how that works.
That's exactly how it works. You know, a lot of people ask me, you're a vegan, but how you get your protein? How you get your protein is a myth. It was a myth so they could sell the meat.
Right. Once again, we've been bamboozled, misled.
Again, inside information. I just gave you some inside information, y'all.
Right. Inside information on a Wednesday night. But I'm looking at them getting this meat that's spoiled and rotten and putting food coloring on it and doing all kinds of experiments with it so it look right. So we'll buy it because y'all know I ain't going to buy no brown meat. And actually, I was with the Panthers, the original Black Panthers years ago when we went in Gauss on Capitol, when they were when they did buy the store from Lena's. And we went in there and we filled up like 3 carts with brown expired meat, made them issue a public apology, sponsor a neighborhood cleanup, the whole 9.
Mm-hmm.
But we caught them with their pants down. And people was in there and it's like, we buying this meat because it's cheap. You're like, well, shit, I just saw my options. So no wonder we're unhealthy, myself included, man. And it's so many, even like with diet soda and shit. Like for years they said, well, the sugar is bad, sugar substitutes. You drank Diet Pepsi and it had aspartame in it, which you find out causes cancer.
That's cancerous.
Right.
Hey, look, ants and shit don't eat that shit.
Okay.
You drop a piece of sugar-free candy on the ground, you know what I'm saying? Lick it, do whatever you want to do. You know how you drop the sticky piece of candy on the ground, the ants come.
Well, I haven't done that for a very long time, though. I ain't ate no candy off the ground since I was
I ain't saying you. That's what I'm saying. Drop it. Like you lick some candy and drop it on the ground.
And be like,
or fall out your mouth.
God made dirt don't hurt.
Yeah, I ain't saying we do that. I'm saying I ain't saying do that. Well, I was just saying remember when that used to happen. You eat some candy and it fall out your mouth. But anyway, you drop some candy out your mouth or whatever, the ants won't even fuck with that sugar-free shit.
Okay.
That aspartame and saccharin or whatever, they will not fuck with.
Right.
That's so you shouldn't be fucking with.
So we talk about health. We talk about we talk about the inside, and we try to do inner maintenance for Black men because Black men we have to go so hard. We don't often focus on our health like we should. We that's why we end up saying men die before women. You work hard, buy a house, get all your bills paid, get a good insurance policy, and you die and she enjoy it with a young Jamaican dude named Dexter St. Josh. Shit, that's how it goes, right? What you crying about? You dead and gone, man. You driving your Benz. But I'm just saying, so like Black men, I think we got to take the time now to just say, okay, let's do us a little bit better. Let's try. It's very hard, but let's try to do that.
Definitely.
Let's try. Let's start understanding what we're eating. I know I have high blood pressure. When they first told me I had it, I started looking at labels in the store. And I vividly remember going in Walmart one time, and I was like, when I'm in here, I'm going to get some healthy stuff. So I got me some vegetables off top, right? They wasn't organic, but I got some vegetables. I went to get the cheese, and I'm like, look at the ingredients, the sodium. Get low sodium cheese.
Right.
Almost everything in that store, I could, even the shit that said diet on it, it's like, yeah, it's low in sugar, but look at the sodium. I literally left Walmart with a very thin basket. It's the only time I didn't go in Walmart and spend a roll. Because you can go in there like I'm only coming to get batteries. You're going to leave out there with drawers.
All type of shit. Socks.
Right.
A TV. Hey, a universal remote.
Right. I didn't even need this shit, but it was on sale.
Coffee creamer.
Man.
All type of miscellaneous.
I'm trying this new Jell-O today. How you eating a new flavor of Jell-O? Right. So yeah, man. It's very hard to eat right because everything is shipped and processed in salt. You think about preservatives when they say no artificial flavorings or preservatives. Actually, what that means is in order to ship food in any shape, form, or fashion, in particular meat, you have to be able to preserve it in order to ship it.
Exactly.
So what do? And there's a solution that they use, which is sodium based.
Yep.
It's just like people say, well, what is citric acid?
Right. And they use carbon monoxide.
Yes, they do.
Which can kill you.
Right. It will.
which is poison. You know what I'm saying? They put carbon monoxide in the meat to keep it pink.
Yeah.
So that pink meat,
and that's what I was talking about. Yeah.
that pink meat that you're seeing in the store is not really pink.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's actually
or they use blood. You know
like
what I mean?
dark brown.
They use old blood and all type of
Yeah.
shit, man. You know what I'm saying? We had no clue on what we eat. We don't have the inside information on what they doing to this food before we see it.
Especially in the global economy because it's import and export. So if you're getting cows or pigs or chickens or turkeys from China, they may have a whole different set of standards for their FDA.
Right.
They don't tell you that when you buy the bird, you just buy it, right?
Yeah.
And you take it home and eat it.
So like they don't tell you about the cows that be having all them tumors and shit in them. You know what I'm saying? They got they cut the tumors out of them before they sell you the meat.
Some conspiracy theorists would say, well, this is a form of population control. They do that because they understand that a certain amount of people have to die and a certain amount of people have to live or to sustain the planet. So here's somebody talking about sustainability. You gotta say, whoa, what do you mean by sustainability?
Man, you know that shit. And you're right, it is people to say that, but that just sounds so fucking stupid.
He said it sounds
that population control through the food, like you know what I'm saying? That just sounds stupid because we talking about the cows and shit. Well, they don't even eat cows all over the world, so this is a lie that they could be telling us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a worldwide shit.
See, now you starting to agree with it.
The whole world don't.
You said it was stupid, but you starting to agree with it.
Listen, the world don't eat like we eat.
No, they don't.
You know what I mean? We eat different than the whole world. Like we the only people that's eating food like shit.
Well,
shit that's like food.
You're being
you
far
know what I'm
behind
saying?
us.
Well, yeah, now you know what I'm saying. But for the most part, like you go to the different restaurants, different ethnic restaurants, and you could tell that way. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They don't sell cheeseburgers at the Indian store restaurant.
Really?
You know what I mean? Go to India Garden up there on Burleigh. They don't sell cheeseburgers.
I've eaten some Indian food and it's very spicy.
Man, it is, but it is spicy.
Some of it's good. Some of it's good. But what the Indian food does to you is give you a lot of rice.
Yep.
Which is starchy, which is sugar, which, from my understanding, we're not supposed to have either.
Right.
So, hey, Puerto Ricans, rice. Chinese, Japanese, Asian cooking, rice.
Right.
Africa, a lot of African cooking.
Now.
Rice.
Yep, now,
heavy rice.
Yep. Because it's a sustainer now, where it's like a staple. I mean,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Like
rice.
you figure, all these countries that we talk about, it was a period of time when they was in a depression. You know what I mean? And stuff like rice, soy was the thing for China, for Asia over there. You know what I'm saying? When they went down, they started growing soy.
People don't understand how much soy we actually take in our.
Yeah, look at them. Take a look at them labels, man. You'd be surprised.
Man.
Your steak might got soy
extract because it's so bland that you could take it and make a paste out of it and add some kind of flavor to it and literally add it to anything, like a soup or gravy or whatever. And you could listen. It's people buy into it. It's like with the vegan.
Yeah,
this is
rice and chili.
It's a turkey burger. Okay, so how do you get the turkey to bond well enough to stay a nice patty long enough to be shipped?
Right.
Well, put a little soy in there and it kind of holds the patty together. And people don't understand, I'm eating vegan.
Or some other type of shit.
You eating soyish.
Yeah, and that's why I said earlier, you know what I mean? A lot of them burgers, the veggie burgers, unless you make it yourself.
Right.
You can make veggie burgers yourself. You know what I mean? And that way you know exactly what's in.
Okay.
I got a friend of mine, Miss Caroline Carter. She's a raw vegan chef, I want to say like a famous raw vegan chef in Milwaukee.
Okay.
You know, I'm gonna see if I get her to send some stuff down.
Yes. Here, what's her name?
Miss Caroline Carter.
Caroline Carter.
We actually gonna get her down here. We can actually get her down.
Let's bring her down here. Have them burgers just like I did the seafood boil. Shout out to Chef Monique Brown. I don't care what nobody say. Look, if you want to get one of them boils, holler at me. I can hook you up with her information. She's an up and coming chef. See, people thought like maybe she had like a whole. No, this sister's just putting her craft together. She wanted some feedback on how the food was delicious. 414-810-3131 is how you get in touch with Miss Serena Brown at 3041 North. And if you want to boil, you ask them too. Because you had to watch the last show.
Right.
Like I said, it was, and I got pictures up. If you don't watch the show, at least look at pictures. This sister is just a genius with the food. But those kinds of things like seafood and anti red meat and pork. we have to find alternative ways to move away from that. Now, I will say this. I grew up on a pork chop. We grew up, my mother cooked
I did too.
But, since I've been an adult on my own with my own family, I realize now my kids have eaten very little pork.
Mm-hmm.
Like some bacon here and there. Maybe daddy made some sausage or something, or some ribs. But it has not been a part of our everyday menu like it was when I was going, Mom, what you cook? Right. Pork shoulder?
Yeah, you may have some 3 different kinds of pork throughout the week.
But everything was cooked in lard as well, which we also have moved away from. My wife and I, we cook with vegetable oil.
Right.
Or olive oil, in a lot of cases. So our dietary habits have changed, but we move more towards the processed foods now, the fast things that we can get. Like we'll allow J&J's to fry us up some chicken. And I've done it too. I'm so guilty of it. All these little Arab restaurants. But where does that chicken even come from?
And what the hell do they know about chicken?
Right. Well, no, everybody around the world eat chicken.
Fried
in
chicken,
some form.
Not fried chicken.
In some form.
What do they know about fried chicken the way we like it?
They must know a lot because they
I used
are
to say
killing the game.
I used to say, yeah, they do. They are. But, we make it easy for them.
Right.
That's our fault. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
but
shout out to brother Dante White. He's watching.
What's happening, Dante?
Dante
D-Bo.
Dante is crazy, man. Dante said he just got out of Facebook jail, man. Shout out to the big homie.
The hell, man.
But he was putting up some funny stuff on there, man. I see his post. I used to just laugh. Somebody reported him.
Hey, man, I saw somebody. Who was that? Riles Riley. He was saying they had suspended him on Facebook for some shit he did 4 years ago.
Yes.
Like, what the fuck, man?
Somebody brought the post back.
They went way back 4 years
Well, somebody might have seen it on his timeline.
They did report it.
Right. It's just man. You got reported retroactively. Shout out to my brother Rick Alim Muhammad. Ram.
Right.
And Ram is saying that he's saying that the seafood is toxic. Yes, Brother Ram. Brother Ram represents the Nation of Islam. So he is about the food. He's serious. So because he does the Muslim diet.
That's right. Peace, my brother.
Shout out to Ram, man. And he does the Ram report, which is crazy too.
Love and light.
But Ram, you're right, man. The fish the fish is toxic because the water's toxic.
The mercury. You know what I mean?
The seabeds are toxic.
Fish nowadays, they got a lot more mercury in them than they used to years ago. You know what I mean?
It's
and that comes from the lakes and the
oceans.
Enough
for you to say, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what I'm supposed to eat. I have no clue. Right. So this is why
that's why it's important. I mean, really grow and learn how to grow our own food.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's pretty much basically what it seemed like it's getting back to, man. I think by the time our great grandkids is around, man, if we don't know how to grow our own food, we're gonna be in trouble.
Or in more trouble than we are now.
Exactly.
I don't know.
That's what I'm talking about.
If it's gonna be, I think right now
we living right now.
Historically, we in trouble.
But I'm saying that because I'm looking at how much younger people are coming across getting diagnosed with these different diseases that we used to take us a lifetime to get diabetes. You had to have been grown damn near to get diabetes a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? The high blood pressure didn't come around till you got older, and all these diseases. But now we starting to see
taking it. Yeah, but I had some cousins who had it from. A young age though. So
it happens. It happens. I'm not saying it don't happen, but you know what I mean. Like, and at this route, you know what I mean. You figure, man, our great grandchildren by the time they growing up, man, like it's gonna be like baby 6 months old getting diagnosed with diabetes, and they ain't even had nothing.
You ain't even smelt the fruit.
You know what I'm saying? But
I did want to, because this has been a major message of people who believe in health and wellness. Hydrate yourself. Don't drink the tap water. It has lead in it. All this kind of thing. But now we see the movement in which we're finding out that a lot of the bottled waters are not even what they say they are.
Right.
And then there's a danger of water that sits in a plastic container over long periods of time. And this summer, it really became apparent because they started talking about drinking water that you had in your car all day that was exposed to heat and the sun, and should you still drink it? It's like, nah, that's not healthy either. But you got somebody who drinking this water all day. I
drunk mine.
Okay. Well, they saying it's not healthy.
I ain't saying it's good. I ain't saying it's right. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I'm just saying, I drunk mine. Shit, I was thirsty.
I still drink tap water. What are you talking about? I mean, but I've been drinking Milwaukee water for 40 years.
You drink tap water. Why should you care?
Well, listen. I've been drinking it for 40 years. Whatever effects it has on your brain, they are apparent here. Okay. And some people who know me say, "Yeah, that's what's been wrong with this motherfucker the whole time. You've been drinking this goddamn water." The reason why we do the Warrior Report is just to talk about it because I don't live this every day, and obviously, most of the time you see us doing the show, I'm sipping on a brew, but I'm slowly coming around.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting understanding.
Yeah. It all happens in our own time.
I'm starting to realize you really got to be careful, man. You really have to start. And it's not always easy because, like my brother say, sometimes I'm just hungry. So I'm like, you know what? Diet my ass. I'm going to give me a double cheeseburger and some fries. It is what it is. It is a fried chicken night. I'm out with the fam. I'm about to give me a fat ass steak, surf and turf all the way around. I mean, one time a doctor told me that the most important thing you can do for your real health is to make yourself happy. So if you're disciplined and you exercise moderation most of the time, every now and then have you a steak if it makes you happy. Because it's going to keep you motivated to live healthy so you can say, now I can do this without worry.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. And add in a lot of healthier, well, now you ain't got to do a lot of healthy practices, but you know what I mean? Add in a healthier practice or two in your lifestyle.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you may want to drink some tea every morning. Wake up in the morning, make you a cup of tea.
If you got time.
You know what I'm saying?
No, we
got time.
That Lipton that I used to grab now is just sugar water.
Hey, check this out, right? We say that, right? But like we neglecting ourselves.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We start talking about, I ain't got time in the morning. I gotta get up and I gotta get to working. Right. Well, wake up a little earlier for you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For your health. Wake up 10 minutes earlier for you. 10 minutes earlier so you can go start this pot of tea.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And grab it on your way out the door.
I gotta work on that because mornings be hectic. I got 2 teenagers that's in school. So it's like 2 bathrooms and they full. The microwave is on. It don't even pay to get up when they move. I get mad. Like, why you got that on? What is that? What you doing? It's better to just stay in your room while they getting dressed. They're big enough now that, we used to have to be up and, so because now in that time, I should creep out of there and get me a cup of tea and go in the room. But I be trying to catch that last night. Like,
right.
I got 45 minutes. I just went to sleep. I was watching snowfall until like 4 in the morning.
A lot of the time we neglect shit like that. Like I say, we only doing ourselves a disservice.
Gotta do better.
Black
people, we gotta do better. Tomorrow night on Outlaw Radio, we're gonna talk about this gun issue. We have to have a conversation about guns. I love guns, so like I'm not with. They're saying, look, what about an assault rifle ban? I'm saying, no, I don't do that because when I got enough money, I will go purchase me an assault rifle or 2. But my thing is, I'm with the universal background checks. I'm with all the pre-qualifying. I'm with all of that. I'm even with having some sort of a certification that you have to update periodically so that they'll be able to trace whatever you purchase. I mean, if you bought it with no harmful intentions,
it shouldn't be a problem.
It is though because.
No, I'm saying if you bought it with no harmful intentions,
it shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be a problem.
Right. If you own some bullshit, it becomes that. But the biggest problem is that people who have guns that do crime don't look for legal guns anyways. So it does turn into a situation where perhaps we may need to exercise some regulatory control. We're going to talk about that. They're saying, with all the mass shootings and all the gun violence, it's like a health hazard that the CDC, the Center for Disease Control, should take on. And you, as somebody who's, the health, the resident medicine man, what do you think about the gun issue in regards to? And I know this is taking you away from herbs and all this.
It's all good, man. I'm a little more than just herbs.
Right. Okay. So what you think? Solution, cause? How do you feel about this? He said,
where do I begin?
Right.
Well, first of all, I believe that I'm behind natural law. Where we all had a right to defend ourselves.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I believe there's a lot of people out here that don't need no gun.
Right.
You know what I mean? That shouldn't have
access to them.
I think it should be some checks about that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like mental health evaluations ought to be done before one will before you can get one.
Mm-hmm.
I even think felons should be able to get guns if you wasn't convicted of a violent crime with the weapon. You know what I'm saying? Now, even still, like, okay, if you're a felon, we should be able to have guns in our home so we can protect our family.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I'm
You
saying?
should have that right.
You should have that right. You know what I mean? Like I say, this is natural law. This is a God law, a God-given law to protect yourself. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I'm for and against guns. You know what I mean? Like, depending on the person, like I would say it would have to be like a case by case individual.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Determination on who would get one. But yeah, I think they are needed because they're out here now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we can't just say guns, they're outlawed now, but all these motherfuckers out here got guns. You know what I'm saying? So how can I defend myself from this motherfucker who hiding his pistol? You know what I'm saying? And I can't go buy none now.
Yeah.
So I think we should be able to get them. You know what I mean? They
But
can't just.
It should be regulated.
Exactly. It should be regulated. There should be some kind of standards to this shit, man.
Right. Right. Well, it's something we're gonna talk about tomorrow night on Outlaw Radio. Some specifics of it in ways that it's slanted and historically in ways where we probably should have had some guns.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the shit that has happened to us wouldn't have happened to us. That's the reality of it. Had we adapted to the way of the gun a long time ago, some people say then y'all would have been dead a long time ago. But eventually, you know, like you talk about, natural laws would have taken effect. So the balances would be a little bit more easy because with a lot of sacrifice, you get some progression.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It may take a lot more sacrifice to get a little progress.
That's right.
Sometimes you just got to keep pushing, as they say. So if you tune into the show tonight, please share the live. The YouTube page is popping.
Share, comment.
Oh, subscribe to the YouTube page. Comment. We can still see it. Come on, tomorrow night. Ride with
YouTube page, the People's Network.
Yeah, and my Facebook group, the People's News Network, where it goes down. Now troll free. If you will. I have to say shout out to my sister Monique Brown for that delicious. I'm gonna be talking about this for months. Go back and watch the show, Conspiracy Theorists. Last night I did. Just delicious, man. It's just everything in the pan was just delicious.
Yeah, y'all enjoyed yourself.
Oh, I had a damn good time. That's why I say if you out there and you cook and you got vegan food, or shoot it to us. I'll eat that on the air too if that's what it's gonna turn into.
You got a catering business, whatever.
Man,
let us know.
You know what I mean? Make the dream work.
Some kind of clothing company you want to promote, you know what I mean? Holla at us. Let us know.
Even if you're a rapper, because I got the boy KT coming. I had KT killing him. I got the boy JT coming on here. Y'all gonna hear this youngster. This youngster got some beautiful music. I'm gonna bring him on, and whoever I have access to will be able to receive his music and his vibe. The brother's nice. He's very talented. He's very young. He represents Milwaukee. I'm gonna bring him on. We're gonna do that show too. So stay tuned with us. Ride with us. Don't collide with us. Check out the docu-series Black and White, which is actually Outlaw TV, which is about to come. We're about to come with episode 2. So shout out to Hotep and Sound Silhouette. That's popping. It's gonna happen. Make sure you tune in tomorrow night, man. Outlaw Radio is gonna be off the chain, brother. Talk, teach, listen, learn, and myself. And if this brother want to stop in, he knows he always has an open invitation.
Yes, I definitely will be back tomorrow.
Because it's all in the family, as they say.
Yeah, come on back and hang out with your boy. You know what I'm saying? Come hang out with me, man. I really appreciate y'all chiming in on us, those of y'all that chimed in and hung out with us for this show.
Yeah, man. Support. Location.
Yeah.
I hope you get everything you want, but I hope you want everything that you get.
There you go. Peace. All right, y'all.